The New Orleans Pelicans have a style. After making it to the second round of the NBA playoffs, New Orleans has transformed themselves into one of the fastest paced teams in the league. But when the team lost Rajon Rondo, and more dramatically DeMarcus Cousins, many wondered whether they could bring in enough talent to maintain pace in the hyper-competitive Western Conference. General Manager Dell Demps was swift to act and signed forward Julius Randle to a 2-year deal worth $17.5 million. The Pelicans are hoping that to some extent he can fill the void left by DeMarcus Cousins. However, Randle's skill set and talents are quite different and might mesh better with what New Orleans has actually built. After Cousins went down, the Pelicans' net rating shot up from 0.4 to plus 2.5. This could be attributed to Anthony Davis going bonkers, but also their entire commitment to a faster style of play. So in this video, I hope to examine how exactly Julius Randle fits in with what New Orleans has built around Anthony Davis. The three main areas that I'll focus on are: 1. How does Randle mesh with the up-tempo Pelicans? 2. What is his style of offensive play? Does it complement the other pieces on the roster? 3. What does Randle bring on the offensive rebounding, and is it an opportunity for growth? The New Orleans Pelicans finished the 2017-18 season ranking number 1 in pace in the NBA. After DeMarcus Cousins went down, Alvin Gentry and his staff shifted gears and got the team playing with a mindset of getting quick and easy points. So, after the Pelicans, who ranked next in pace in the NBA? Well, you guessed it, but the Los Angeles Lakers were the next fastest team, ranking second in the NBA. The Lakers' team offensive philosophy underwent a change under the direction of head coach Luke Walton. Los Angeles went from 18th in pace in 2015-16 to second this past season. Coinciding with this, Julius Randle's numbers have steadily gone up each season. Dell Demps has a history of targeting young veterans who have shown a steady progression in their early years, and Randle is exactly that. Last season, he blew up after the Lakers traded away Clarkson and Larry Nance, getting significantly more playing time. This pace is what helped Randle in his progression. His athleticism combined with his above-average dribbling skills are perfect for this style. Here in this clip, the Lakers swarm to protect the paint. Their long and active hands lead to a steal, which Randle senses and shoots up the court for the easy slam. What excites me though is his ability to bring the ball up the court from rebounds. Like Cousins, Randle is not at all afraid of acting as a point forward of sorts. Here he grabs the rebound and moves the ball up the court. Julius notices that Plumlee, the shot blocker, has his back turned and isn't paying attention to the ball side of the play. This is the opportunity that Randle is waiting for, as there will be no one in position to block the shot at the basket if he can get past his man. He then drives into the paint, he finishes up over the defender for a very nice shot. And with teams going smaller in the league more consistently, Randle is an interesting prospect that can keep up with this. He has an element of slashing in his game, especially on the fast break. He slices and drives with little hesitation. 86% of his shots are within 10 feet of the basket. And while a lot of this is in the half court, it's a figure that is ever increasing as the Lakers increase their pace over the past season. It's why I believe he's a perfect fit for what New Orleans is trying to do. Even though it's pre-season, we can already see the seedlings of growth as to how he's going to fit with Davis and Holiday. Here, Davis's long hands get a deflection, and New Orleans corrals the ball for the steal. Each one more passes to Randle, who, as we've discussed before, has no issues dribbling the ball up the court himself. In front of him he has Robin Lopez, a clunky big man who isn't exactly versatile in the open court. He also has Davis to his left with another Bulls defender coming into frame. Randle slightly hesitates before pressing once again. He attacks Lopez knowing that the small defender hasn't come across in front of him. He then finishes through contact and draws the foul. His combination of athleticism, ball handling, as well as his strength is what will work well with the likes of Anthony Davis, Jrue Holiday, and the rest of the Pelicans. Even off rebounds, like this example, Randle will fit in nicely in the up-tempo style. Jrue Holiday pushes the ball up the court, and Julius is trailing. Holiday does a lovely job of getting the ball into the paint quickly, which forces Chicago to sync with him to prevent an easy layup. Randle, either sensing an offensive rebound opportunity or operating as a passing option, slashes with him into the paint. Jrue makes a gorgeous pass, and then Randle finishes for a contested layup, also drawing the foul. The final fast break example is for me the best one. Randle gets the rebound and immediately looks to push the ball himself. He looks like a freight train in the open court with nothing to stop him. DeMarcus would do this too last season, except he seemed a little less fast-paced and twitchy, whereas Randle's a little bit more athletic. Randle then makes a behind-the-back pass to Holiday, who then has an alley into the paint as Julius draws the attentions of both defenders on the left-hand side. Drew then hesitates and makes a lovely left-handed layup. This is why New Orleans brought in Randle. In the space and pace era of basketball, he's not going to lag behind. Rather, he'll complement New Orleans and keep them moving in the right direction. So, we have an idea of how Randle will fit in the up-tempo aspect of New Orleans' philosophy, but what about his playing style in the half-court? Coming out of the draft, there was a consensus on Julius Randle. Jay Billis described him as the most physically imposing power forward in the draft. Jalen Rose said that he reminds him a lot of Zach Randolph. The first thing that I noticed when watching the film is that Julius Randle is physical. The dude will go at you and he's not going to back down from a challenge. This is reflected in his style of play. Randle will on occasions look to utilise his wide frame and get strong post position against his opponent. Here the Lakers are running some dribble handoffs at the top of the three-point line, hoping to force a switch or some kind of mismatch. Before they have a chance to reset the sequence, Randle notices the space in the paint and immediately looks to grab an advantageous position against Jeff Green. He knows that Green, a weaker defender, will not really be able to contain him should he beat him to the spot. Lopez then makes a pass down inside, and Randle takes a quick dribble to get Green off balance before finishing up and to his left. As the season progressed, Los Angeles looked more to Randle for their half-court offense. He was noticeably more comfortable getting his own shot compared to previous years. Posting up, Randle wasn't all that impressive, ranking in the 55th percentile by shot type. He went to it on 21% of his shots, which is considerably large in this day and age. In this example here, we can see Randle's versatility and strong display of footwork. After waiting for the guard to cut through, Randle has Porzingis, a very long defender, right up on him at about 16 feet from the basket. He knows that with everyone on the weak side of the court, that if he can beat Porzingis fast enough, he should be able to take the baseline, beat the help defender Enes Kanter to the rim. Julius does exactly this as he spins and finishes strong at the basket. It's a display of coordination, athleticism, but above all his physicality through contact. Sometimes though, Randle tends to force the issue a bit too much. Here against the Spurs, he looks for excellent post position down on the block, but because the ball entry was so close to where the post position was established, Pau Gasol can easily help out Bertans. The defender knows that even if Randle decides to go to his right, he won't because he has plenty of help in a congested paint. Julius then forces up a tough shot over the long Bertans and misses. One of the big things that stood out to me when watching Randle was his tendency to go to his left side when posting up or isolating. Randle sets a screen on Iguodala, forcing a switch. He then rolls to the basket and begins to look for post position. Now, Andre Iguodala is no slouch of a defender, but the biggest part of this is how amazing the Warriors are defensively working together as a unit. In many instances, this is a matchup worth going to. Julius Randle down low against the slightly smaller defender. The difference here is that the Warriors are so damn good defensively. Iggy sort of fronts Randle to make the pass entry difficult. Julius then gets the ball outside from where he originally had post position. He then takes a couple of dribbles as Draymond Green comes to help. Iguodala, likely knowing Randle's tendencies to go left, is able to strongly contest the missed shot. The next couple of examples might highlight how Randle would work with the likes of Drew Holiday, Elfrid Payton, Etuan Moore, and Frank Jackson. A lot of the time, Randle will sort of slip the screen to go as an easy option for a pass from the guard. It turns out to be sort of like a cut as demonstrated in this example here. Julius waits for Thomas to get in position on the left side. Then after passing, he moves down to set the screen. Just notice how far LeBron is playing off Randle. He knows that any jump shot from Julius is a win for the Cavs defensively, but it's sort of like Ben Simmons when teams play so far off of him. It gives him space to maneuver however he so chooses. After Randle moves to set the screen, he slips, and LeBron is worried about a Thomas jump shot, and he begins to move up to contain the ball. This gives Randle an easy path to the basket for the layup and the foul. The other way that Randle frees himself up on pick and rolls is when he fades, or rather what I like to call floats, to a certain spot on the floor. Here against the Spurs, Randle comes over to set a screen for Lonzo Ball. Due to his big frame, Patty Mills is stuck trying to play around the screen. Bertans does a poor job of containing the ball as he guesses wrong and goes to the right. Bertans realises this and then is scrambling to get back into the paint to contain Lonzo Ball. This leaves Randle with a plethora of room on the right-hand side of the court. Teams are okay with this to one degree or another when facing Julius. They know that he doesn't have a great jumper, so they're willing to give him this space. But what they don't account for is his ability to slash and make use of his physicality and coordination to get to the basket. That's what happens here. Ball makes a nice lead pass to Randle, who grabs the ball and hits a lovely reverse layup. Julius Randle possesses a combination of skill and strength that leaves plenty of room for growth, especially playing alongside the likes of Drew Holiday, Etuan Moore, Elfrid Payton, and Frank Jackson. The last item I want to briefly touch on is rebounding. With DeMarcus Cousins leaving, New Orleans has a bit of a gap in the rebounding department. Now, it's my belief that a combination of Davis, Mirotic and Randle are more than capable of maintaining a satisfactory rebound rate. However, after watching some film, I am somewhat excited by Randle's potential for corralling offensive rebounds. His offensive rebound rate of 8.9% isn't going to set the world on fire, but when you consider his size, length, and most importantly his physicality, I think it's an area that could be a bonus this season. Take this example here. The Lakers are on a mini-fast break of sorts, and Brandon Ingram throws up a wild shot. Notice Randle, who has positioned himself deep in the paint, and he's able to fight through and corral the ball over both Kanter and Porzingis. Then, this is my favourite example. The Lakers are trying to find something late in the shot clock. Isaiah Thomas does a step-through move but is partially blocked. However, go back and you'll notice how Randle sneaks down the baseline to get in rebounding position. Freeze framing here, you see there's no way he can get a rebound, but with his length and energy, he's able to get a touch on the ball, corral the deflection, and go back up and draw the foul. With Anthony Davis commanding so much attention, I believe there will be plenty of opportunities for Randle to boost his offensive rebound rate. There's tremendous potential in this aspect of his game when you combine this with his individual traits of being physical, having long arms, and his overall energy on the court. No one is quite sure where the Pelicans will finish by the end of the season, but if past performances are any indication, then it might be some time for Randle to fit in perfectly with New Orleans. However, his skill set and performance in a fast style of play seem to be a nice fit for what the Pelicans have built around Anthony Davis. It'll no doubt be fun to watch both Randle and Davis gel in the Pelicans front court. Thanks guys for watching the latest Pelicans film room. It's been a while since I've done one of these, but I was taking a bit of a break during the off-season. I'm really excited, much like all of you, for the season to begin. So I'm hoping to push more of these out throughout the year, so make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, but also make sure you follow me on Twitter at JSGrayson. Thanks again, and until next time.